How's it going, guys? Zero Fanboy 124 here for the season 4 finale discussion / review for The Walking Dead. And this episode, there were some things I liked about it. I definitely enjoyed a lot of parts, especially a lot of things that were going on with Rick's character and some revelations with him. Some things that I was kind of curious about, like, okay, that was a little odd. So I'm going to discuss and talk about all these things with all these other great reviewers right here today. And today we have, first off, Jim's Nerd Nation. Say hello.
Yeah, and I'm not in the great category. I'm more of in like the mediocre to average at best, but I'm here nonetheless. So, so thank you.
Okay, with Walking Double Dead.
Bonjour.
And for the record, he's not smoking weed, just in case you have the inkling to ask. Okay.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. We have Phoenix Kai, of course.
How you doing? How's it going?
Okay, and quickly, when it comes to this episode, the first thing that stuck out of my mind was, man, Rick fucking just eating the dude's neck and just spit it out. That was ridiculous. That
was brutal.
That was probably the highlight of the episode.
Nice little comic book tribute right there. I was like, yes.
That was in the comic books. Ah, okay.
Yeah. It's one of the classic scenes where he bites someone's foot.
I'm like, holy shit!
I was really like, whoa.
The ending, like little saying.
I knew he was gonna do it when he had no options left. He was bear hugging him like he's gonna fucking fight him.
You know the funny thing is I like just right before we got on and watched the episode a second time because I kind of wanted to see that scene again, so I watched it a few times. And number one, it's cool because I'm at about issue 70 in the comic book right now, so I've kind of just passed this part. And in the comic book, it's done a little bit differently. The biting the neck part's similar, but as soon as they kind of got into that position and all of this happened, I didn't expect it in the first 10 minutes, you know.
No,
and then when it did happen, and then when he went and he said, and Rick said, no, it's me, and he took it all on himself, and he goes, oh, well, now we're getting somewhere. And then this dumb motherfucker goes, after we beat Daryl to death, we're going to have our way with the woman. Then we're going to have our way with it. So now he tells him that we're going to rape your son and kill him. And then I'm going to kill you, and then we're going to be even. And at that point, what kind of dumb motherfucker are you? Just shoot the guy, man, because honestly, now you're giving this man nothing at all to look forward to. At least if you would have been like, hey, maybe we'll beat Daryl to death and let you leave, or maybe we'll kill you and let your son go. He has nothing to lose at that point. So at that point, it's like, fuck you, man, you know. And I just love it. I was like, let him go. You know, and just the second time, and then he just headbutts him. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. You know,
I love the look on his face. It looked like he was Incredible Hulking up with like the rage. It was brilliant.
I thought it was so well done, man. And I had to watch the scene a couple of times to see how everybody worked together. And then Michonne blowing that dude's brains out through his chin, up through the top of his head.
Gave him the little Jackie Chan rush hour move for flips.
And then after Daryl curb stomps somebody straight out of Gears of War, right? Everybody's down. Then Rick goes and he pulls the knife out. He's like, he's mine. And he turns. Michonne moves out of his way. The dude is so scared he drops his knife and his fucking hostage. That's the only thing you got to negotiate with, you tough son of a bitch, dude. You know, but I think he realized at that point, I just tried to rape this dude's kid, like, and he just ate my leader, you know.
Exactly.
I loved it. It could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. Could have cut off his dick or something, but.
I don't know. That was a pretty brutal death.
The way he changed him from stomach to stern, man, and I mean every time he pulled it out, and he was just looking at him as he was going lower and lower, and the blood was splattering on him, and the life was soaking from him. He didn't even let the knife sink in. He just it was beautiful.
That was good. That was really good. That was good. And I don't know. Like, first, when you see him like kind of like shaking around, like getting all crazy about next to that car and whatever, you kind of think, oh god, he's unhinged again. But that's not the message I got from the episode. You actually sit back and think about it. It seems like he's
awake,
accepting his insanity.
That's what I thought.
I think he's awake, you know. And how do you go? I mean, starting from the beginning of the episode, how do you guys think? I thought that was done very well. How it did the flashback. Right. And then it actually showed you, because you got to remember when we left Rick at the end of season 3, you know, Carl was going off the deep end, and Rick basically just was this. He figured he had to do everything, right? You know, he took it upon himself, and we don't know what happened between then and season 4. We just know that he was farming at the beginning of season 4, and we were making fun of him for it, you know. So I thought that was done so well to show that transition. And then you see him sitting against the car all bloody, and the first thing everybody thinks, at least in my household, was like, oh shit, where's Carl and Michonne? Were they killed? You know, did something happen where they kidnapped, whatever, you know? So I thought that was done so well, and then to actually go and see that progression and see what happens, and then afterwards have him just be like, oh, man, I thought it was just done real well. But I think they blew their load on the first half of the episode, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Because the second half just really wasn't as intense, and it really ended off feeling like there should be an episode next week, you know, to close it out, to me anyway.
Yeah, I agree. The beginning and the middle were definitely the best parts, with the whole thing with Rick, obviously, and then the whole, you know, I like the whole bonding moment with him and with Daryl. That was actually really awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
that was great.
So I choked up a little bit. I was like, you know,
hell yeah, dude. He goes and he's like, you're my brother.
Man. Yeah, bromance going on, man. Gotta respect that.
I kind of like the whole how it's sort of like, you know, you had the whole Herschel, you know, the whole too far gone sort of like speech that he gives Rick, and in this episode where he gives him that all encouragement, you know, you've got to do this, you know, and I don't know, it kind of felt like at the end of the day it made Herschel wrong, that, you know, you have to be like Rick was, live in this world now. You can't, you know, you can't be all kumbaya and you can't be a farmer, and you've got to be wary of the outside world, and, you know, people are just shit, and you're not going to survive if you're like Herschel.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, like, stop being a pussy.
You know, I think that was kind of the theme, but I really like how Herschel gave the flashbacks, and it was like this fatherly advice he was giving him. Yeah. And what he was trying to explain to him is that you can still, he was trying to explain from his perspective, you can still have your humanity, and you can still do what you need to do, but you need to learn how to back off a little bit and still have your humanity and be a good example for your son, so he doesn't just constantly see death and death and death. And I think that was kind of the whole crux of the season, if you think about it, for Rick anyway, because then by the end of the season, I mean, you remember him a couple seasons ago, we don't shoot the living. We only shoot the living now for the most part. We don't waste bullets on the dead, you know. And him having to do this and then not regretting it at all, I liked how that was, because it was finally his realization that, you know what, protecting my son is number one. I don't care about making friends. I don't care about, you know, the world like it was before. The people that are alive now are not good, for the most part, that you run into, and I'm going to have to become the monster sometime. And I like that, though, how now it seems like he can switch it on and off, you know, because then at the end of the episode when he says that, he's, like, happy that they're locked in a train car. He's like, oh, nice to meet up with you. Now we have more people to go kill these motherfuckers, because he just looked like he was excited, you know what I mean? Like, it's no problem. We're trapped.
I hope he has a plan. I mean, because if he delivered that final line and there's just no plan, and he's like, oh, better be careful about us. And that's
I was hoping he had some kind of backup plan or something like that, and then I'm like, yeah, but they put their bag of guns in the woods, you know? I'm like, what the hell? What is he got, you know? I mean,
I thought that ending was a good counterpart to what happens in the comic, because obviously Rick, you've probably not Rick, sorry, Jim, you've obviously read to the bit where they get rid of the hunters now, I assume, yeah?
I have, and honestly, it went by so quickly, and it was such a passing thing that I really think that it was. I didn't care for it that much, how it was set up.
I was going to say it sort of shows that how the group now in the comic on that sort of point, they get a lot darker the way they dispose of humans, and they kind of seem that they're at that point now in the TV series as well.
Yeah, I think where it's not so much about like doing the kind or the polite thing anymore. You know what I mean? I think now it's going to be about like, you know, sometimes the world's brutal and everything like that. But I like this setup for these people and this hunters, because this makes sense. You know, you bring people from all around with these signs to a place that they're following anyway, because they're train tracks that meet in a center. You set it up, you make it look like everything's good on the front door, you lure people in, and upon watching it a second time, when they pushed them along that path to get them to the train car to surround them, there was, before they even shot in some areas, there was bullet holes in the walls and everything like that, so they had led more people that way before. Obviously Glen's group, but I'm just saying they ran into others along the way and stuff too.
I was going to say that if you saw those double red containers as well, it sounded like there were people inside of those containers.
There were.
Right, they were screaming. Were they screaming?
Yeah, they were screaming. They were screaming, help me. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
So, I mean, so I think this. I mean, so this is it safe to say that these people are eating people?
Well, if you saw when they were getting, you know,
man, you didn't see like
at least sacrificing people at the very least.
Well, there was loads of like body parts and like rib cages and blood and whatnot when they were getting shot at. And they were running away. You could see it on the floor. So
exactly.
That's what they were doing there.
Like all over human meat, all over the ground and shit. So I think
part of why they didn't shoot them. I mean, if you shoot them, then they turn and then they're not longer edible. So
speaking of shooting, man, these motherfuckers can't shoot worth shit, man. I just noticed that.
They weren't trying to hit them though. They were just trying to like move them lead them into the to get surrounded. At first, I'm like, where the fuck are they? They're missing every shot. What the hell are they doing? And then it started to make sense as it was kind of going along. They were just trying to like show them the way or try to push them into a certain spot. Exactly. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, man. What are your when it comes to the hunters? Do you think Beth is already dead? Do you think that she was captured by the hunters? I'm kind of interested about that.
I don't know. Like, I've got two thoughts on this now. Because the rumor is that Gareth, the guy we were introduced to, looks like the leader of Terminus. It's said that he's a combination of comic book characters. He is rumored to. It's not like official that he's going to be Father Gabriel and Chris, the leader of the Hunters, as a combination character. But I'm kind of thinking like maybe they've still got an opportunity to introduce Gabriel as his own character, and he technically could have been the person that saved Beth and took her away. And after Terminus, they could technically find his church. So it really depends if Gareth is a combination character or if he isn't.
It's the guy they met in this episode, the one that was
because if he isn't a combination character, there's an opportunity that Beth could have been saved by Gabriel. If he isn't, then it's like she's been there for what 3-4 days. I mean, it's tough to say still going to be alive.
Maybe she was the one in the container. I don't know.
She could have been. Yeah, that's true.
There's a bunch of memes on the internet. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a very good point. But I did notice, obviously, one very important detail. I mean, it's not really a secret, but in this episode, we didn't get anything with Carol, Tyrese, and the baby. And I was like, come on, it's the season finale. At least show something. You know what I'm saying? They looked like a couple episodes ago. They were the closest to Terminus. They were. They were the first ones on the road. You know, they seemed like they were the closest. Yet we know they're the last to make it there. We know nothing about what's going on with them right now. So
I would assume that the other groups got ahead of them because they went to the cabin and the whole Lizzie and Micah thing. That maybe they got behind and they're the last to turn up there. So
yeah,
they're the people in the containers. I mean, they could be.
Right, that is true. I hope not. No, baby and everything, but
no, I don't think so, man.
I assume when they go on that counter-attack to get their bags of weapons, that's probably when they'll run into Carol and Tyrese.
Yeah.
Or they'll help him out or something.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very good point. Like, I mean, when they invaded Terminus, I mean, they just seemed, I mean, they were a little bit cautious. They went through the back door and everything, but they just were too ready to say, okay, they're good people. They're in, you know what I'm saying? They just gave up too easily, you know.
Right.
They had no precautions for anything that to go wrong. They didn't have somebody. They could have had, like, just for example, Carl wait outside of the gates.
Yeah.
And if they don't show up for a certain amount of, you know.
You think they should have just sent 2 people in?
Yeah, no, I said you could send 3 people in, but you could have kept like either Daryl or Michonne back,
or anyone.
Because they're like the soldiers of the group, and they could have some sort of way helped.
Come up with a plan or something.
Exactly. They just kind of left themselves too vulnerable, and although it was pretty badass, the way Rick kind of observed the situation and did what needed to be done, it was kind of a reckless thing to say, oh, they're having a meeting, they look nice, let's just walk right in. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. No security whatsoever. I still didn't get that. Like, nobody was on the roof until the last minute. Like, they was like acting like everything was normal. And I'm surprised no walkers is just wandering around the area at all.
That's true.
Well, they did say that they've got guards on like perimeter, so.
Yeah, because he said something to the effect of, "Oh, it must have been so and so on guard duty," like you know, like that, like maybe that's the lazy guy or something, you know.
Oh, okay.
That's true. That's true.
Tell me something.
Yeah, I was just kind of worried about that, wondering about that, because about the last episode was it they had the gate open. We still, you know, why would they have the gate open? So maybe they have patrols, but even if they do, there could be zombies that just go through the patrols. We can't cover an entire area. And I don't know. It seems a little odd.
I don't know how they got it set up, you know, but I'm curious to see. I mean, it seems like they have a sizable force there, and it seems like they have a good system set up for, you know, herding these people into these train cars or whatever, and then being able to, you know, obviously take them because they don't have a refrigeration system. You know what I mean? It's the apocalypse. You know, you've got any ice around, so you know, so I thought it was really well set up, though. You know how they introduced them, I guess you would say, even though they didn't formally say that they were the hunters or the whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. It's the same thing, just a different version. They're just eating people, and they're a little more organized and a bigger force, you know.
Yeah, they're definitely eating people. I want to quickly show something really quick. My Facebook allows us to work. A subscriber sent me. Remember that room that they were in, kind of like a sacrificial, kind of weird room that they were in.
Trust. The fact that we never trust the first or something along those lines.
Yeah, let me show. He pointed out something very interesting. I want to get you guys' opinions on it. There's people's names on the floor. You can see, right?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And then there's items next to every single person's name.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Oh, man.
I just find that incredibly interesting. So they're probably all the people that they're killing. They're leaving. Do you think that's what they're doing? They're leaving some item behind. Yeah, as a memorial.
Could be.
I think
Why would they do that?
I think it's like a cult or some shit.
Oh, what's up, man?
Oh, what's up? I'm just trying to be like you. You know that.
What does that mean?
Shoot, I want to be at the top just like you are. Oh yeah, the thing you were saying about leaving somebody out,
Be quiet,
I
man.
don't think their group was big enough to do that. For instance, let's say one person stays outside the fence, the other three stays in. The other three get fucked up. What's the other person going to do? Go in there and get fucked up too?
They said they would know what's up. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what would they be
know.
able to do? Like, what would one person
Oh,
be able to do?
if someone went back. I mean, if you had like a Michonne or a Daryl, if they would have stayed back and seen all this gunfire going off and not intervened, they would have noticed everyone got stuck inside the train thing and they could have snuck in, got them out. I don't know.
That's in hindsight.
Rambo shit, man.
But that's in hindsight. That's after the fact that we know what's going on. They didn't know there was going to be a whole bunch of shooting. They might have been killed instead.
They knew something was up. They were skeptical to begin with.
They didn't know anything was up. Well,
Why would they
no.
go through the
Daryl
back
said
door to
they
begin
know.
with?
No, Daryl knew something was up because one of the guys told him. But the guy didn't say he knew. He just said he thinks something. And the group was only 4 strong.
Okay.
Like, I would rather go in there with more people than, have one person out. Because if one person stays out, Michonne wouldn't be able to do anything, And plus,
I would say let Michonne stay out. What is she going to do? Cut people up with a sword when they have guns?
No, she ain't no he ain't, man.
Have it be Daryl then.
No, I just don't. I think their group was just too small for that. Had their group been 8 strong, I would say, okay, 4 of us go in, 4 of us stay out.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And then if we do have a cavalry, at least it's 4 people strong instead of 1 person. I don't think 1 person's gonna be able to save them.
Fair enough.
They were screwed to begin with, though. Did you see how they were closing doors and dropping things? They knew where everything was to hurt them the right way that they wanted to have. They have a large group that knows how to move. And those people on the roof, they were on the roof the whole time. They were just staying hidden until they were needed. That's a tight setup that they got going there. So
Exactly,
the idiot they had out on perimeter watch didn't see them coming or whatever, and they got in the back way. But they still disguise it enough too to where when they walked in, it didn't look like they were up to anything. There's some old lady sitting there freaking talking on the radio.
It looked like a narcotic factory or something.
It kind of did, actually. Looked like the laundry from Breaking Bad.
It did.
It really did.
Hell no.
Oh, man. I'm going to read a comment by Vendetta's. Beth is in the flashbacks. That is a very good point. That could be a hint.
Nice little hint. I honestly thought we were going to see it.
Beth was the first one served up.
Yeah, somewhere cooked in the grill with some hot sauce.
I thought he figured it out because when you seen how big these portions of meat are, it's like we couldn't find shit but rabbits in these
Yeah,
woods.
that's what I'm saying.
Where's all this meat coming from?
Exactly.
How come no one questioned the meat on the grill? Where the fuck?
Well, I don't know. Rick was looking at the poncho and the riot gear and everything else.
Yeah, he was.
You got a lot of our shit on.
I was just waiting for them to flash to Glen tied up in the corner, you know what I mean? I was like, man, how can you make it more obvious, man? Rick does on the riot gear, the poncho, then the watch, and Rick's like, that's it, they've got our people.
Where my people at?
So, yeah.
That dude Garrett seems like a damn psycho.
You know what I didn't get, though? When I watched it again just now, I noticed that when Rick grabbed that guy that he saw with the watch that was taking him on the little tour, Jacob or whatever his name was, I forget the guy's name, and he turned him around, had the gun to his head, that dude was pleading with Gareth, and he was like, no, we don't have to do this now. And, so I didn't know what he meant by that. It's like, all right, they've already got guns pulled on you, and they know that man, the gag's up, man. There's no, there's no coming back from this. What was that dude asking him to wait on? You know what I mean? I didn't get that. He was looking at his leader, and saying, wait, we can wait.
He was just scared. I don't know.
I guess they was going to just spray
I think
him.
he would be sacrificed and get shot like he did.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a group of people that are cannibals.
Well, you notice that Gareth raised up his hand too, and
Yeah,
then he went and he lowered his hand like this to signal this guy, and that's when Rick turned around, and then his own guy got shot, you know. But so maybe that's what the guy was talking about, like, oh no, man, it's cool, I can get out of the hostage situation, because maybe that's like some shit they're trained for. Like if you get grabbed, you're gonna get shot. Like we will not hesitate to shoot.
I mean, maybe what he was asking in a sense could have been like, don't kill them so that we can eat them, because if you kill them, they'll turn. So try and get them without being killed. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
I wonder why the guy was wearing the riot gear. It's not like they have snipers and shit like that.
He's like, inside the walls. I was like, what are you hiding from? Like an ass raping in the showers or what?
Maybe he's scared of Gareth.
Tony got a little fresh with me last night. It's fuck, man.
Yeah, we got into that argument. You're the next on the menu.
You never know, man. You never know.
Somebody said that they're going to have Carl Jr. burgers.
Oh.
In the comment section of my video.
Did you guys think Carl was going to get his ass shot, too? I thought he was going to get raped. When they all got cornered, it looked like he was out on an island. It looked like he was farther from everybody else. And Rick looked at him, and even when they separated him, and then finally was like, "Go ahead, kid." And as Carl starts walking, he puts his head down, like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna get sniped." And I mean, he just felt like it was done. And even when he was gonna get in a train car, he like stopped. I would have dove into that motherfucker.
Why everybody wanted him so bad?
Why did they do it like that? Like have them walk one at a time, and have Carl wait for like 3 seconds, and then it made no sense.
I think a lot of it was just for dramatic effect, but I think a lot of it too was just
Carl wasn't like fat or nothing, man. If he was like a fat motherfucker, then hey.
I'm assuming
but they all want him so bad.
Or anything.
What was that?
All the guys want him so bad.
Huh?
Kwanku so bad.
Why did the large man want to have sex with Carl?
Yeah, those guys wanted him. Then Gareth and his boys wanted him. What's
maybe prison inmates.
I don't know.
Well, maybe because
but
maybe he's like the equivalent of Veal for cannibals.
Well, in the comic they talk about how that's one thing I liked is they were like, because they like. Whatever, they went up talking about how it doesn't. Sometimes you would think if it's younger meat, it's better, but some people say it's like the female that's better. And they go into this whole explanation about how they have an extra layer of fat and everything, and I was like, that's like disturbing, But at the same time,
it's better marbling.
But I was like, man, if you've been eating that much human, you got some problems,
It is, man. You do. And, I mean, like I said before, I don't think this is as simple as humans are the best form of food to eat. Now and then. I think there's some cult shit. I mean, it's really obvious. They got the candles and shit. Like they must like. I think someone I talked to about Walking Dead said something along the lines of. Maybe they feel like if they eat the humans that they become more human or something like that.
The whole reason is this: is that the reason that the hunters become eating people is because they're not hunters themselves and they can't track, and it's too hard to kill animals, and it's much easier to pick off and kill people and steal their shit.
Well, and they were in a place of high traffic; people were coming anyway.
And they're also probably.
How does that explain the ritual?
But did you also notice that the walkers, they kill animals too, and if you look throughout the episodes, and how many big game do you see in the woods anyway?
Well, there's less and less now.
The
getting caught, man.
The only animal surviving is humans, so they need them. Rabbits not gonna feed those people. They need people. That's the only big game left is humans.
What did you guys think of Michonne and what she told Carl? I thought that was kind of cool, man.
Man, when he was laying in her lap, I said, "Damn, get out of the lap. I'll lay in her lap."
No, I'm talking about when she was talking to Carl and she said what happened.
I like how it was
I like that too.
I faced the other way on it.
That was also inspired by the comics, Dead?
It is, but it's slightly tweaked. How it's a little bit different, but it's pretty much exactly the same, but it's slightly different.
Basically, the whole thing about we're everyone's fucked up, man. Don't feel bad about it.
I like how she came out with that though, and then we found out what happened because we saw them in that flashback, and we wondered what happened and how they became the pets, and it was like she felt like it was her penance for leaving them, and then their dumbasses getting high when the place was getting overrun, and then obviously her son getting, she felt like she needed to punish herself, you know. So I thought the background was cool, man. So she was basically just walking around like The Walking Dead, just with these two in tow, and she felt like it was her punishment, you know, for what she had done.
And we finally found out why that was, because we'd seen that she was using them for protection, but how would she had known that? So we finally got clearance with that. Exactly.
Yeah, she didn't.
We finally got clearance on what was going on. And that little conversation she had with Carl, as many conversations that she had with Carl, I thought that was the best one. All the other ones, well, most of them was just, I thought was garbage. I didn't really want to hear it, you know. He probably, I think Carl's waiting to get, you know, probably in like 4 years, he planning on running up in that.
Not many options for Carl, man. Yeah, no, Beth is probably dead, maybe dead, who knows.
I like how he says when Daryl tells a story, he's like, I was with Beth for a while, and then, you know, then we weren't, and he's just like, is she dead? And he goes, no, she just gone. And I'm like, what kind of answer is that? She just gone. I would have been like, no, man, she can't do this or some shit. I would have told him in like 2 or 3 sentences, but he got to be all cool and be like,
Right.
You could have said she's probably getting raped now, and I didn't get the store. He said
she was kidnapped.
Why?
He said, "No, just getting ready to put my thing down." Ain't get a chance to. Shoot, we're in the apocalypse. Everybody's got to get what they need to get quick.
What you guys think was the kill of the week, kill of the episode?
Oh, it was
you gonna go with the bite?
I really liked that guy that gets swarmed and he gets eyeball like bit out.
He just ripped his side of his
Oh, that's so brutal.
Comics too. I was like, oh.
It was like prison, wasn't it? That was like a prison shanking. Just
that guy was an idiot as well, because if you notice, they were like swarming around him in a horseshoe, and he had this gap where he could have easily ran out and got away. I was like, what are you doing?
I was like, and what are you doing in the middle of a field with like 30 zombies anyway, man? How you don't let them get around like that?
Though? I never understood that. You're like, help,
that's just the Darwin, man. Darwin's theory of work, man. The weak get picked off. That's what happened with that guy, man. The weak don't last long.
Only the strongest survive. Zoro fanboy is the only one to survive. Strongest of us all.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, I guess.
I think he's like 4 Daryls.
4 Daryls.
He's like 4 Daryls and a Rick.
In all honesty, in the zombie apocalypse, I'm the first one to go, man.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
It is what it is.
I think you might be the one to save us.
And after about 3 days of not being able to have shit that you're used to, like hot water, and just in general, like being, like saving, man, I'd probably be like, fuck this.
Man, I haven't had a burger in like 2 weeks, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you really don't need hot water down there. It's because it's already pretty much warm all year round. They only drop down to like 50 degrees.
Yeah, Zorro's set down there. I'm up in Chicago. Fuck that. We've had a 6.5 month winter, man. It was 50 degrees out today. I went to the park like 3 times with my kids. I was like, this is just wonderful, Yeah. Right, Zorro, he's cool down there though. He's good all year.
See, that's why those guys.
As long as you have air conditioning, yeah.
Yeah.
The first group that Rick killed was those guys. They were from Philly.
In the bar.
Because it does get cold here. Yeah, it does get cold here. So they went down south. They knew they had to. 50 degrees. We can survive in that with no. I can survive in that shirtless. 50 degrees.
That's true. Very true. Very true.
Everybody's up north had to go down south.
Yeah, I guess. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, what do you think? Because you were kind of, I think, gone when we were talking about this, Jim, about the fact that we didn't see Carol, Beth, or Tyrese in this episode.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you guys too. And I apologize, I had to step away for a minute to go grab a water. And but I'm wondering, did they make it there already? Are they in one of the other containers? Because if you notice, when they went into the thing, there was the powdered milk there in the little bowls, little like styrofoam bowls right outside the car. So I don't know if that was supposed to be like they were there at one point, or they're going to make you think it was there. But right as Rick goes into the car, he glances down and he sees that powdered milk, and my wife noticed it. And I'm thinking, man. I wonder if they've already been there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But I thought that they were going to get there later, because remember when that cabin was burning?
Yeah.
It was already burned down by the time Tyrese and them left. long burnt down by that time. Daryl and Beth were already on. Daryl and Rick were already on the move, so I was expecting them to get there first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I think that it was a mistake not letting us know anything about Carol, Tyrese, and the baby, and then Beth. Leaving things like that hanging without anything, it's hard to carry over from one season to the next because you get all these viewers that come on and that they're going to jump on next year and everything, and leaving huge things like that dangling. That's why, to me, the mid-season finale this year seemed like a season finale. That's how I felt after it was over, and this season finale felt like a mid-season finale.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes.
This episode felt like the second to last episode.
Cheering, yeah. I mean, I was like cheering, and then at the end of it, I was just like, come on. And then when they had to go and tone it down, man, because they can't drop F-bombs, on AMC. But that was so lame. I watched that when I watched it again tonight when Rick says, they're screwing with the wrong people, and I was like, "Come on!" I was like, "It's so bad."
Fucking with the wrong one.
Badass quote from the comic as well. That bit.
Yeah, I know. And he even said on the Talking Dead, he's like, and he goes, "I had to do it with one take, for the screwing with, because I guess he kept saying you're fucking with the wrong people, And I was thinking, all right, man, but I don't know. At least we know we're not going to get a time skip, right? This year. It's not going to be 6 months later and shit. We've been living in a car. We've been powdered milk day in and day out. They're trying to fatten us up. They took Rosita last week. I hear Carl is next.
I'd leave her.
Was it even in the freaking? I don't even think I saw her.
I would have left Rosita alive. She can be useful later on.
Damn.
She can be useful later. Train car, man. She can start a business giving BJs in the back, man.
She can be useful right here, right there, now.
Right, it's probably happening now.
Yeah. They got a nice female to male ratio going anyway, because they got Michonne, they got Tara, they got Maggie, and I know Tara plays for the other team, but hey, that's all right,
Hey, she'll come around once she see that she's the only one left. There's no other lesbians in the series other than her. So
what I find is like a really weird coincidence is like Rick obviously he susses them out super quick, even though he notes this thing. But then you've got Eugene, this ridiculously intelligent motherfucker, calculating distances and shit. And you're thinking, how did this guy not look around in 2 minutes and go, yeah, this doesn't seem right. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems smart in a sense, book smart, but in real world sense, a common.
But they had a
sense
bigger group too. They came in there with 8 strong, and I mean at least 4 or 5 of them know how to whip some ass,
Yeah, they had guns and shit.
Sergeant with them.
I mean, how much heat you think a group might have? And when they walked in, it wasn't that many people that you could see.
Well, if you think about it, Abraham, they had MP5s and stuff like that. Yeah. They've all got handguns. I mean, they were loaded.
Yeah,
but they did also walk right up to the front door with no reservation. And like I said, they didn't have the high ground. They got people on the roofs.
I bet you they invite you in and try to give you some of that meat. They give you a big old plate of meat. I bet you it's drugged. And I bet I bet you what happens is it's drugged. Everybody sits down. They're so excited to eat because they've been out on the road. What's the one thing that scares us out on the road is food, right? You sit down. Oh boy!
So is that woman constantly cooking drugged meat?
I don't know what her. I mean, I didn't ask her for her time card last week, Zorro. I don't know how many hours
she's out there on the courtyard.
But it seems like she's been out there for at least 2 or 3 days.
I know, right? That's all she's there to do. Cook drugged meat people.
I don't know. Maybe she has a body double. They come in, they do 12-hour shifts or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
So, but I think they drug the people, knock them out, and then they wake up in the train car. And then some people, if they come in wary and they figure out what's happening, they just push them that way by shooting at the ground and shit.
Like a scene from 12 Years a Slave when he woke up and he's in the chains. What the fuck? He said, "No, please tell me."
Wakes up butt naked in a train car. What the hell?
Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, but if you had 4 automatic rifles, wouldn't you feel safe?
I feel like we have better than average chances. And also, you got to think about it too. These people that come from the prison that just fell and everything. It's a jungle out there. I mean, let's face it. There's not good people wandering around out there, and the living or the dead. So just the hope and prospect of having something. I think would be too tempting to pass up. It's like I'd be wary, and I'd expect something to go down, but at the same time, I'd be praying at the back of my mind, come on, man.
Please let these
Glen's group, blindly went in there. I mean, at least Rick had the sense to go, yeah, this doesn't feel right. Let's go.
At least Rick was like, let's bury a bag of guns over here in case the shit hits the fan, Daryl.
Yeah.
And Daryl's like, I don't use guns.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have, if I seen the gate open and I can't see anybody, I would be cautious. But they probably just say, oh, we have so many guns, we're safe. You know, if I was in that group, yo, leave somebody at the door. Not one person, maybe a couple people.
Thought that because they've got military personnel in that group.
Yeah, they felt safe, and that was their downfall.
I still feel like they owe us another episode this year. That's all.
Yeah.
Anybody can get butt raped at any given time.
It didn't end on a good note. I mean, I thought that as a whole the episode wasn't bad. In fact, I thought it was pretty good with the whole Rick thing.
I thought it was a great episode. I just thought they had too many fucking flashbacks.
But for a season from that. I mean, I get it. It was more like a symbolism thing, showing Rick as the farmer and then him transforming into what he was in this episode, fully accepting who he really is. What he has to be anyway for the zombie apocalypse. But it just felt like it was just kind of padding.
I think they could have did 2 flashbacks, but not throughout the whole entire episode. Like the one where they talked about Glen's watch. Why? Because people like me wouldn't remember, because I didn't. And then the one where he was, with Rick and with Carl and shit like that. I think they should have showed those 2, but I didn't think they needed all of those flashbacks throughout the entire episode. Plus, it was fucking up the suspense because we're trying to see Terminus.
Yeah, because they was hanging in the middle, man. So, because they kept putting him at the most inopportune times. Like, I love after they see the dude get his face ripped off in the woods, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, a couple of them saw us, run! So they're running down the tracks, and there's 2 or 3 of them trucking after him. And then Rick goes and sees like 4 of them knelt down there, and he's like, "Fuck it!" He doesn't even slow down, just runs and starts bashing heads. You know. But right before he was gonna make contact with the first one, boom! It goes into a flashback, and I was like, "Come on!"
Yeah, that's bad, I think if they did like that, it would have worked a bit more.
What?
I think if the episode ended on something a bit more shocking or just a bit more better, because I don't know, I don't know, the ending was a bit climactic for me.
Climactic, man.
So if they had something a bit more hype at the end, it would have made up for the flashback, sort of like ruin the suspense flow of the
that's what I was saying. I felt like they blew their load in the first 20 minutes, because after Rick pulls that dude's throat out, Michonne shoots the guy in the face, then shoots another guy, right? And then Rick guts that dude, and we get a curb stomp in there from Daryl. When you see all that and then the aftermath of it, there's not a whole lot they can get, because then they take a little time to wind down, and then by the time they go and start moving things back up, you're like, fuck, man, the feeling has passed. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you going to do now for me? And then at the end, I was like, come on, you owe me another episode next week.
It is, yeah.
I looked at the time.
It felt like an incomplete season. It really did. Like, it just felt like a random time.
It all goes back to season 3. How they fucked up that prison arc.
That episode was actually 2 minutes longer than normal, so I thought that we were gonna see some good shit in that 2 minutes. They went to another flashback with Beth.
They had to put another flashback, man.
They had to have Beth in there. They had to show Beth somewhere, and then Tyrese was also in the flashback, and Carol and the baby. So they were all shown in flashbacks, but the baby was shown twice when Beth had him and when Beth came and took him initially when Herschel was going to take him out there. So I thought that was cool because that just hit me now. And then we saw Tyrese and Carol at the beginning when Rick first came in during the first flashback. So I thought that was kind of neat. The characters we didn't see and catch up with, we actually saw through these flashbacks. Their way of reminding you they're still there, So.
Reminding you that they're going to ignore them in the future or in the present. But we're going to show in the past, like it matters. But
I honestly thought
would have been great if this. Sorry.
No, go.
I was just going to say this. I think this would have been perfect if this was what we were talking about in December. This was the mid-season finale. I'd be fine with waiting a couple months to find out what happens. You know what I mean? In the train, I would have been cool with it. I think then. But I feel like because this was the end of the season, and we spent the second half with a lot of these individual episodes and individual character-driven stories, felt like all of a sudden the shit hit the fan. We saw some cool stuff, but it's like, ugh. I still feel like I want you to come back in a couple months and give me another half of the season.
Do you think it would have been better if they would have actually cut out those flu episodes and then moved those character-driven episodes, further back down the line? Because then we would have got more for this ending, maybe.
I've been saying that for the whole second half of the season, that I felt like they could have reworked some of the scenes to where you saw more characters in the second half of the season, especially in each episode, and it wouldn't have felt as empty. Because I felt like this Rick episode, it was almost like you had to give us this, because last week you gave us a 2-minute throwaway scene, and then we didn't see him for a month before that. It was when he strangled the guy under the bed. So I know you're trying to show us that all these things have happened, but having to wait a month, it was to me it was a little frustrating. You know.
I feel like they could have done completely away with that one episode with Beth and Daryl, except for the ending, to show that as some part during one episode, and then instead of that, show us what happens next, another episode. That was just a complete waste.
Especially if you're going to leave us not knowing what happens to Beth at all.
Exactly.
It's kind of why.
Exactly. It was bad. It was just not well structured, I would say. And in addition, like you said before, Dead with season 3 with the governor, it just went on too long. With him initially, having the craziness and going off on his own, and then finding himself or whatever, and then coming back. It took too long. It wasn't necessary. They could have cut out half a season with him if they wanted to do it. I just think it was kind of just like petting. It was essentially mostly petting. It was good.
Honestly though, with the groups being split like they were, I don't believe that you could have easily shown every group in every episode. But I believe if you would have done like back and forth, like 2 or 3 groups in this episode, then the other groups you didn't show in the next. So you'd see all your favorite characters at least every other week. I felt like, and then up until the last couple episodes, I just felt like the same content would have been fine if it would have just been structured around differently. If I would have seen Rick in like 4 or 5 episodes the second half of the season instead of like 2.5, you know what I mean? That's what I feel like, is that it could have been rearranged a little better, and
they spent episodes on just one group, especially that group with Beth and Daryl. I just thought that shit was just retarded. I was like, come on, man, show us some real shit. Let's get into some killer shit.
You didn't enjoy high school drunken fun?
I was looking at the episode.
High school drunken fun hour.
I said, well, a half hour in, I didn't see somebody die yet.
The high school
Moonshine episode.
That was kind of. I think that was kind of filler. I think they're doing filler, and a lot of time they add, development to people that really don't need to be developed. They all in the same development. Maybe we should all settle down here and not go to anywhere else. Everybody keeps saying the same shit.
I mean, I understand like the need for filler sometimes. I like the whole Beth episode. I thought that the reason why they did that was because that they needed to buy time for an awesome finale of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought they were
opposite of that.
I thought they were developing all these little side characters in case we were going to get characters killed off, so they could come in and take their places. Or if they did die, we would have more impact on their death. Now we got to know the character and they've been fleshed out a bit more.
It's still possible if Beth is dead.
What they do with Beth? I don't give a fuck if she die.
Yeah, but then that'll be in another season, and that sort of like investment will be kind of lost.
We'll forget about it.
It probably ain't Beth. She's a young lady. I know that meat is going to be real tender. Juicy and everything else.
Someone said in the comments below. Oh, what were you saying, Kai? I'm sorry.
I said you're going to like taste a few strands of hair.
Oh. I think someone's in the comment section below, like, when you eat her, it'll make you sing better or something.
No, it won't. It'll make you sing worse.
Poop Dude makes a great commentary on television. He says, AMC can show people getting their organs ripped out of their chests, but using the F word is against their policy.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, ripping throats out like open, references to like sex, all that other stuff. That's all fine. Yeah.
Hinting at raping a kid, that's fine.
Yeah, hearing the guy unbuttoning his pants and then being, oh man, and like when he first grabbed Carl and had him around the neck or whatever, it looked like he went and tried to kiss him like a, like one of those type of things, like, oh, you gonna be my bitch, And I was watching, I was like, oh, you mother,
Straight Eddie Long style. Who's gonna rape the boy?
Were you guys?
Booty warrior, man.
Were you guys mad at all though that nobody died, or were you happy about that no main characters died in the episode?
I didn't mind it.
Okay. I was just wondering because there's all these rumors swirling around that one more character is going to die, and to be honest with you, I couldn't make a call. I kept thinking that it was going to be something where Rick was going to have to make a choice between Daryl and Michonne, or Carl and Judith, one of his children, something like awful like that. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know who, because they gave us development on so many characters this second half. I was like, I don't know who they could part with that I would care more about or less. And then I was honestly happy when they didn't confirmed kill anybody. So
I don't know. I think when they were running through those buildings, for me it would have been a nice little cherry on top to run in and find and go, holy shit, there's such and such butchered.
It's like Tyrese with no arms and no legs.
That'd be funny though if Tyrese is dead after all the shit that he's been through.
Poor Tyrese.
It's not like Beth brings anything to the fucking series. We don't want to hear her say anymore.
Tyrese had the worst run of it, though, if you think about that poor bastard. I mean, Daryl fell in with some bad people. Rick had some ups and downs. Glen's group had their ups and downs. But, I mean, honestly, think about Tyrese, man. First, he saddled with the kids out in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? You got the crazy one's little sister, and you have a newborn baby. And, man, seriously, brother, get a break.
And the woman who killed your girl. And the woman who killed your girl.
And they meet up with the woman who killed your girlfriend, and she helps you. And then you go through that whole crazy, surreal thing in the Grove, man. That was like its own horror movie and shit off on the side, man, with the creepy little girl. And look at the flowers for Carol. I'm thinking, oh, my God, I think back on that. And poor Tyrese, the whole time in that episode was like, oh, what did I get myself into?
The only woman in sight is like 70 years old.
Yeah, poor guy, man.
Yeah, and it's not like any lube is around.
And the funny part is he's saddled with Carol, who admits to killing his girlfriend, and he's watching Rick's baby, right, his newborn baby. And you ain't going to hold it against a newborn, but Rick done just beat the shit out of you like at the beginning of the season. I mean, pummeled your face in so bad that he broke his hand on your head. You know what I mean? So
he could have chucked that baby way up high.
Tyrese could have been like, "Hey, nobody made it out of the Grove, Rick. I'm sorry."
They could play football with one of the damn walkers. Go long and throw it at the I think it would have caught it too.
It's fucked up,
Really?
That's fucked up.
That's terrible. I thought this was a family show.
Downtown.
It's not really a family show, and I think that's gone out the window.
Yeah, that's
But it's ridiculous. Like, it speaks to the whole TV industry with the hypocrisy of violence is okay, violence is absolutely fine, but words are bad.
Maybe they're gonna do that on like the Blu-rays or DVDs when they come out.
Yeah, that'll probably be something they'll do to boost the Blu-ray sales, man. They'll be like the unedited Rick's.
But it's just a word. It's like he says fuck. Who cares if he says fuck?
Yeah. You know how many collectors will jump on that shit just to buy it, man? They'll be like, oh my God. They put in the deleted scene in the last 5 seconds where Rick dropped an F-bomb. People
I think George Carlin did a good little bit on the words in television, how ridiculous it is. It's just so stupid.
George Carlin did a great one on the 7 words that you can't
say on television.
Oh my God, it's
he's hilarious stuff. But it's ridiculous. I completely agree.
Blu-ray, man, Blu-ray.
Coming August 27th.
So far, everybody that's in that container, most of them, except for I would say maybe Glen and Maggie, they're all G's. So.
Oh, you don't think Glen and Maggie are G's? Damn.
I mean, they're okay. They're not bad. They're not like Beth or anything like that. They're good support.
I mean, Maggie was like the entire time that she was pregnant with Glen. She's like, "Where's Glen? Where's that one? I have to find Glen." Hey, bitch, you remember you had a sister?
Yeah, what's back?
No,
she never even asked about her sister. But I gotta say, Maggie, she kind of a bad bitch, man. Like if I couldn't have Michonne, I'd take Maggie at my side, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'd take her my side. She ain't bad to look at. She fuck some people up, man. And she's driven.
Yeah.
So,
you want Michonne first, huh?
I take Michonne first. Listen, Michonne looked good, number 1, and number 2, Michonne is a bad bitch with that sword, man. Come on. Anytime they don't want to waste a bullet or good, hey Michonne, and she just, you see when she stabbed that one in the head, and would just fling the blood off the end of her sword. I love it when she does that, man. It's like a little touch.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Michonne's awesome, but against
Morgan,
it's useless though. Against humans, she can't. Like, what is a sword gonna do against people with a machine gun?
How's that useless against humans? She took 3 people out this episode.
Yeah, that's true. Because she got a hold of a gun that wasn't even hers, and she blew one dude's brains out.
But realistically, all of them should have been dead. Like the guy shouldn't have came up like, oh, I got you.
Listen, man, you guys all played RPGs before. You all played games like Diablo and shit, man. You got your tank, you got your archer for distance, you got your mage.
Right.
Turn-based still, Rose. Turn-based. That was his turn.
That was turn-based.
Personally,
Redneck uses hug.
She's
It's not
close
very
encounters,
effective.
man.
Rick
You
uses
know?
light.
Yeah.
Super effective.
I would take Michonne first, then Sasha, then Rosita, then
Yeah, you
Maggie.
can't forget Rosita. Rosita got a nice rack, so.
Yeah, then Maggie.
Rosita's probably the
fine
best
as
looking out of all of them, man. Being honest.
Yeah, I take
I like
Michonne
Rosita.
first.
Yeah, I'll still go with Michonne first because all around.
Oh yeah. That's close. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with
that's what I
dark
was calling.
chocolate. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with dark chocolate. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shoot.
Exactly.
It'd be like a Kit Kat. That's all. I thought when they used that candy bar and they said that's the last big cat. I thought they meant it was a big cat. You know, like the Kit Kat bars.
The big Kit Kat bars? Oh, yeah.
Is Big Cat a real candy bar? Or did they make it up for
No,
themselves?
I think that's some shit they made up. I never
Yeah,
seen
so they
it.
pay royalties or something.
I
didn't know
never seen
this.
it.
What was it called?
The Big Cat, they call it?
Oh, Big Cat, aren't they?
So Kit
It's
Kat,
C-A-T, not
Kit Kat,
play on words.
K-A-T.
But it's an interesting comment by KPA. He wants to know, and I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think that the Rick is in some weird way becoming like the governor? I would say no. I would say no, because the governor is completely unhinged. I would say Rick, he has his dark side, but it's necessary, and it's not, and he can still control himself for the most part.
Yeah.
Everybody's like it though. If you think
He
about
had
it,
a
everyone's
breakdown.
had to evolve and sort of like change their morals. I mean, Shane was the very first person to do it in the group, and he was like alienated. But now everybody's like Shane in a sense. They're all killing people. They're all making fucked up decisions.
Shane was right. Shane was right. He says, "Are you gonna do what needs to be done in order to protect the people you care about?"
Yeah.
And Rick, for just this episode, come to that realization that he needs to do that.
Yeah, but I think he actually literally did have a psychotic breakdown.
Shane?
Like even in this episode, no Rick. Like remember he had that psychotic breakdown. And he thought people were talking to him and things like that. I think now he's just tapping into that shit. Like he can actually go off the deep end. But I think he's got most of it under control. He's like the Hulk. If something happened, if it's something he's done, he gets strong.
Don't make me angry.
Well, I mean, there are certain
There
things you never want to say to Rick, and I'm gonna rape your kid as one of them.
Carl! Carl!
He said, "You're fucking kidding me." And that's it.
Oh, you fucked up, man. You fucked up. I kind of like this character. He's a complete asshole. That redneck guy, what the fuck his name was?
Joe?
Joe, yeah. But, had to go.
It's really annoying because I was really starting to like his character last episode, and then they kill him off ridiculously super fast in this episode. I was like, shit, come on.
Out of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
But once you realize how fucked up they were and what they were about to do, they had to go.
Well, I mean, they stepped it up. Like it came out of nowhere. It's like you could tell they were bad motherfuckers and they were a bit dodgy. But then it was like, what? They're child rapers, and I was like, well, okay.
All right, now that's the line.
Yeah, Rick really wanted that guy. He said he's mine before he went to get.
That ass is mine.
he probably raped him, but they off-screened it.
What?
They off-screened it.
He was dead already. Oh no.
I like how Daryl stepped up though too, man. When he first came around a corner, and Daryl was like, "Hey, wait, hold up." I mean, I like how the first thing he said, he's like, "You're gonna let these people go." He didn't say like, can you let them go? Or he's like, "You're gonna let them go." He's like, and he's like, "No, I don't see, this and that." I think Lou would say something else, and he's like, "No, it's all right. You want blood? I get that. Take me, And even though you knew he wasn't going to, it was still, I thought it was kind of cool to see him come up like that, man, and just flip on the switch and just, he was willing to make the sacrifice, and I just, like I said, I thought it was well done. And then afterwards, when he was telling Rick about it too, and he was like, I knew these guys were kind of assholes, so I was pretty much hanging back, and I was about to leave, and about to sneak off, and then I seen that they said that they spotted you. So he basically just went to kind of check it out to see who it was. He had no inkling that it was Rick, that they were chasing, So right place at the right time, I guess, Yeah, and
if it wasn't for those two guys beating Daryl's ass, they might have not been able to get the drop on the other guys.
But they took their sweet time, man. It was in typical, action hero status, like, I'm gonna kill you, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do first, and I'm gonna seem like I'm a bad guy and give you just the right amount of time to grab the weapon and bite my neck. And it's like, I mean, it's a little cliche, but it was still pretty good. I like that.
You gotta give him a nice little monologue first.
Yeah, give him a nice little monologue.
Yeah.
Like Jim was saying before, giving him motivation to kill him.
I'm gonna go through my whole plan. That way you can figure out a way to stop it before we implement it.
I'm bear hugging you. What you gonna do now? Well,
The one thing I like though is that he did have the gun right up to his temple, man. And when he slams his head back, it obviously shocks him, but at least he pulls the trigger. And I mean, and to me, showing how he was disoriented and everything like that, it's like if you ever like a flashbang or anything, that type of thing, you know, that's why when they use that, it disorients you because it basically pops your eardrums. And I think that's probably what happened to him, obviously. So he's all his equilibrium's fucked. He's still recovering and everything else. But I thought it was done much better than in the typical action hero style, where it's like, you know, right. I hit you and I dodge, you know, artfully, and I break your arm. I turn your gun on you and shoot you in the face. Because he went and hit the guy, and then that dude's old ass, because Joe got like 10, 15 years on Rick. Joe come back and be like, "Pop, boy!" You know,
he beat the shit out of him.
I think them beating the guys actually was plausible for the simple fact that two of them was on Daryl, so they didn't have the arrows in their hands. One guy, he had a gun on Michonne. He had to keep that on Michonne, otherwise she might have got up and killed him.
Yeah, and the fat fuck's over on the side of the car trying to rape a 13-year-old boy.
He was preoccupied with, you know, with Smash.
Small boy.
That gave him a chance to get the drop on him.
No, I know that.
Daryl was.
I'm just saying. I mean, if they really want revenge, they need to like tell him the plan and everything. Is just kill him right off the bat. I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a TV show. You gotta like, you know, suspend your beliefs. You know.
Yeah. You have to build that suspense of
you gotta suspend disbelief, but then at the same time, like when Daryl walked up and said that, you know, and then one of the guys said, "Oh no, we got to do that," and he's like, and he goes, "We got nothing but time here, boys." You know, because that's one thing we have. It's the apocalypse, man. There ain't no TV to get home to. There ain't no ball game to get home to. Like, we may die in like 2 hours, man, in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So I think his whole thing was like, instead of just coming up, because they could have shot them from a distance in the woods, obviously. You know what I mean? And taken them out, no problem. But I think it was more. I think it was more the satisfaction of trying to rub it in, you know, and then obviously too, it made for
and make him watch his
TV.
That's true. They're trying to enjoy themselves, I guess.
They said we're gonna make your son shit all over himself right in front of you.
Oh man!
Wow, really?
That's what was gonna happen, wasn't it?
That's too much, man.
Am I lying?
Yeah.
You're not lying, but you gotta.
Yeah, that was gonna happen.
You said
I'm pretend like I didn't hear that.
Right now, got a colonic.
That's too much information.
Too much, man. It's too much.
They was gonna give Michonne a colonic too.
Pretend we're AMC and tone it down a bit.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, boss. Sorry about that, boss.
So good, man. So good.
Sorry about that, boss. My name's Toby.
Here's a good question, guys. Do you think Shane would have been a better leader to the group alive than Rick?
No.
No. He would have got everyone killed.
Yeah.
Who would have gotten everyone killed?
Shane.
Shane
Oh.
would have.
Shit. They wouldn't have made it out the park.
Shane was a bit unhinged.
I think they would have been all right for a while, but he was already.
He sacrificed people, so you know.
Yeah. So the thing is that he'd wind up being more of like a governor type, or you know, more of one of the ruthless types that would get to the point where he'd be evolved now to where it'd be like,
right.
I'm just gonna kill people just because it's fun and because I got better to do. You know. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Imagine how good Rick was up until that point with Shane, and like how far he's come. Imagine Shane how far he'd come to this point. Up to now, no way. He would have. Wow, he'd be crazy. Yo. Yeah. Especially if Lori died. Imagine him reacting to Lori's death. He would have fucking just went insane. Like.
He probably would have killed Rick.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to. He tried to.
Yeah, like a couple of cages, man, and guess what happened?
He said, "Now I can finally kill your husband, and the law won't come after me." So here's his chance, his opportunity, that golden moment. Stars aligned.
It's not like he always wanted to kill him. He just, you know, it's fucking Lori, man.
I think he always wanted him out of the picture, and now that the cops are gone, he could do it. Shit, what's so special about Lori?
Nothing knows. I don't know.
Really,
that's a mystery question, man. I mean, mystery ask.
Really, she was kind of meant for Shane. Remember, she said, "I want somebody that's gonna beat the shit out of me. I want an Ike Turner or something like that." Remember that scene she did when she talked to the friend? She said, "Rick is so nice. I want Ike Turner. Somebody's gonna slap the shit out of me."
When did you say that?
The sky's blue.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the episode where they showed the flashback when she talked to the friend? She said, "I don't know. I'm getting bored in my relationship."
Oh yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She said, "I need somebody who's gonna beat the shit out of me every night."
She wasn't.
She.
She?
Yeah, she was a piece of shit.
There's always that. Maybe she was fucking in behind Rick's back before the apocalypse. You never know.
Yeah. Lori was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Lori really was. Horrible.
I need a thug.
Why did you do
Manipulative, spiteful,
Mm.
annoying,
Jealous.
horrible mother, jealous, everything. Just terrible person, if I'm being honest. Really bad. I don't know if she's worse than what the hell's her name?
Andrea.
Andrea. I don't know. I think Andrea for a while was actually a pretty good character. Then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she was.
I enjoyed the character.
Lori was never a good character. Only when she died was she a good, like that
Yeah.
death scene.
He was like, yes, thank God.
Damn, man, it's hard as hell. It was a pretty touching scene when she died. That's about it. That's all I'll give her. Like, who crashes their car in an open road? Like, what the
Oh
fuck?
yeah, I remember that. That was
Yeah, she was a
Dumb
dumb
bitch. Dumb bitch.
You said she was
It's not like there's cops and shit all out there, and you're watching to make sure the cops are, on. You can keep your eyes on the road. You had, like the guy said, you have nothing but time. Shoot, you didn't see any damn walkers.
Why did she crash again?
I can't remember.
She looked down at the map and then went off the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Shoot, I did just slow
He was
down. You
looking
ain't
down
go
and
that
taking a
fast.
picture of Shane.
Yeah.
She left her a little present on the bottom of the car seat.
With her hands in the pants, looking at Shane.
Damn. On an open road, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she was an open road, all right.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. I like that. She was an open road, all right.
She was down for anything.
This is a good question from Kampachigo. He wants to know, what do you guys expect for next season? Who do you think will die? Good question.
I hope Beth.
I don't hope Beth, but I think.
I don't know. The thing is, though, is it too obvious that she's going to die now that they might curveball us and she might be alive?
That's true.
Yeah.
Like you said, it depends on who this person is. The Gabriel.
Yeah.
person.
It depends if he's a combination character. I mean, good chance she's gone. But if he isn't, then there's a very good chance that we're going to get introduced to Gabriel. So I get the fucking names mixed around now. And he technically could have saved her, but it all depends.
I think
She's the most likely to die, I would say.
Yeah.
I think Carol and Judith to get knocked off.
Wow.
Nah, I think Carol's too much. They've developed her too much, and they can.
Yeah, she's the only female alive from season 1 now, and they took a lot of time to develop her this year, I think.
Yeah, so
over
she's
the
the
course of
last one to
episodes
go.
she was in.
Yeah, last woman on season 1. Damn.
Yeah, she ain't gonna make it. I
Who would have thought that Carol would be the one to make it through?
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I would have thought Judith to be able to make it.
I actually really like Carol's character. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Like last season, at this point, I would say fuck Carol, but now I really like Carol's character.
I thought they did a nice job this year. I definitely did. So, and she's
they
another
do it.
person who it was showing what she had to do to that little girl. It's now she can also flip the switch, and we know that she, without a problem, without a doubt, can do what needs to be done. And then you saw the comparison with obviously what Rick had to do. So I believe that they're going to wind up, meeting up whenever it is in season 5. I don't know if it's going to be the beginning. I just hope they don't draw this shit out for too long, where it winds up being the first several episodes are like this whole like prison break type deal where they're inside the containers all day and they have to figure out
I was getting ready to say that.
to sneak out at night and get out to the thing and set up getting the guns and or some shit like that. I mean,
Terminus, this whole story arc, it will probably go to the mid-season finale of season 5.
I would think so.
It would have to.
What's going to happen is Rick is going to say, yo, we know that they're going to get to the other people first. So we're going to wait till the middle of the night. These guys don't know, but I used to work with these containers. There's a secret way of getting out just in case someone gets locked inside.
No. What's going to happen is, and this is the reason why they show the flashbacks, Rick's going to use his farmer skills to dig into the bottom of the thing. And he's going to
plant a beanstalk.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
He's going to use a shovel, and he's going to shovel them out. And then you'll be good.
But Rick still has his blade on him, right?
Does he?
Because that is what?
You see him drop his gun, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But didn't he have a blade on him too? He had a knife. As far as I can remember, he stabbed the guy with a knife. I don't remember him putting his knife down.
It depends what they put in the bag, though. So we didn't see everything.
Oh, they put the knife in the bag.
Did he put in the bag?
He
I know
might
he put,
have,
like a bow in the bag.
yeah, two guns and a bow is definitely in there.
That wouldn't make any sense. Why would you run like I got to get to my knife? You know, like, I'd rather get to a gun than get to a knife. Keep the knife on me.
Yeah, I think he has a knife on.
Yeah.
But it depends.
I'm not sure,
When they patted him down, did they find a knife?
Oh well,
No, they didn't pat him.
They never patted him down. They were all just standing out. They were. Oh, you mean when they first came in?
Yeah, exactly. When they first came in.
Daryl had a knife on him.
Daryl had a knife. That's what I'm saying. Not Rick.
Yeah, so Daryl's definitely.
Remember Rick stabbed the guy up?
Yeah, but he stabbed him with the other dude's knife, with that guy Joe's knife.
He didn't keep it.
I guess not. I don't know. I didn't see him with it, so I couldn't tell you one way or another.
Man, as cautious as he was, he probably got it. He's gonna take a number 2, then he's gonna produce a knife, and he's gonna open his cage.
That'd be graphic as hell. So you just shitting out the knife and shit.
Carl, come
He's got
over
learned
and
to
grab
be
this.
around people in prison. He's got lots of people up that showed me how to do this without cutting myself up.
That's funny.
But yeah, I think he still has a knife on. I don't see why would he hide the knife. I would hide guns, if anything, you know. And then even though they dropped their weapons, do you remember seeing anybody drop a knife?
No.
Yeah, I think they still have a knife on them. I remember that.
If it's anybody, it's Daryl. If it's anybody, it's Daryl. So yeah.
Somebody still got some shit on them.
Netjack wants to know why Maggie has completely forgotten about Beth. That's a good question.
Yeah, when she sits there and she's not even like, "Hey, anybody seen Beth?"
Is Beth?
Yeah, she sees Glen. She says, "What's that young girl's name?" I think her name was Beth.
The one that I lived with for all those years?
Yeah.
And how about Daryl? She's just gone. You know, she's just gone.
Where's Glen? He's going off for a piss. Okay.
Glen says, "I think your sister's dead."
Your character is so irrelevant. Like, your own sister doesn't give a shit about you. That's funny. That's really messed up, man.
What would you rather have Beth with, barbecue sauce or like steak sauce, like A1 steak sauce? I'll take it with the A1.
All I'm saying is that proves two things. One, Maggie's obsession over Glen, over everything else, and two, the fact that Beth is so irrelevant that she doesn't even consider her an option as to her considering her safety. So it's like, okay,
she knows she's weak. She probably died.
Yeah, selective memory.
You're gonna sing the Walkers to sleep.
Right. She didn't get out of the prison.
I got stick. I'm good.
Yeah, so that's just funny shit. That's funny shit. Okay, let's answer maybe a couple more questions, and then I think we could wrap this up. We've been going on for over an hour, so let's see. Daryl will know how to get out. Drifters know shit about freight trains. What the fuck? I don't know. Maybe.
They probably know how to sneak off that.
It's gonna be very hard to get out of there, considering first off that they know they're in there, and they probably have every corner of that train like under inspection, or under watch at all times. They have so many people. You can tell how many people they have. They have a shit ton of people.
But they got plenty of crates, so why would they like keep all of them under watch? They have a bunch of crates, and you hear people screaming from other crates. So there might be a window. Maybe.
Maybe just got a watch guard on them. On the roofs.
I don't know. They could pull, the classic, somebody decides to help them from the inside. Somebody that doesn't fully agree with what they're doing. Eating people. It started out just doing it out of necessity, but now it's this dark ritual, and they turn against their own people, and they're like, we're going to let you out in the middle of the night.
And unless Carol and Tyrese are going towards Terminus, hear all the gunfire, maybe they catch.
Maybe they're watching all of that.
Yeah, they could have been.
Maybe that's how season 5 opens, with seeing them on a ridge or something like that, looking down and just kind of hearing, and whatnot.
The gunfire.
The gunfire, and seeing that something happened.
I think it's going to open with Tyrese getting his revenge. He's going to tell Rick that they fed Judith to them.
Oh man,
I'm like, sorry about that.
I don't think they're going to
we haven't eaten today, and they fed us. They fed her to us. The meat was so juicy and tender.
Oh,
that's terrible.
Fucked up, yeah. KPA asked, this is a question that I don't think we're gonna get an answer to, but he says, any thoughts on Kid Randall's group? The kid who Shane killed, and then he talked about the group he was with.
Yeah, from season 2, because he talked. He was with the bigger. Yeah, it was season 2, and he said that he was with the bigger group. I think he said 20 or 30 or 30 or 40 or something like that.
Some people out that group and say they had like heavy machine guns and stuff. I'm pretty sure they did.
I think that was
the governor's pretty well armed. Or
was that the governor's group?
It might have been Woodbury. I mean,
No,
Yeah,
I
could
don't
have been.
think so because they said that they were raping women and stuff like that. The governor was keeping under wraps, as far as I know, wasn't he?
Yeah, the governor was keeping everything under wraps, so yeah, it sounded like he was with some kind of moving band. But you know, we've had two seasons and 2 time skips since then that are like 6 or 7 months. So realistically, this is like a year and a half ago in like another area completely separate. So I don't know if there's ever going to be any reintroduction of that.
It probably did.
But there may be a tie-in down the road where you find out that
Negan's
you
group.
know, someone's group, yeah, like that could be it too. You know.
They're gonna say, "Oh, we're coming back for you. You got our guy Randall."
I'm gonna give Randall.
Yeah, for like
They left Randall to die, didn't they?
Yeah, they left Randall's ass to die at the face, man.
So they don't really know about him, so they don't give a fuck. Remember, Randall's got leg up, put on the fucking spike.
Yeah, he
So-
got fucked up.
They left him like, oh, see, peace, man.
Yeah.
I don't think this Rick would have done what that Rick did.
No, he would have left him.
He would have left him.
He would have left him.
It was a fucking.
You're gonna say you
Put
killed
him out of his misery, maybe.
Look
one
at
of
this
our
episode.
own.
He let that guy fucking get eaten by those walkers. That retard.
Yeah, I mean, but why going there?
during that whole episode.
What
You
was that
can't
guy?
race any. You
That
can't race.
episode where that guy got his eye bitten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just laughing.
You can't. Yeah, I laugh at stuff like that. People think I'm sick.
I was laughing because the guy was so stupid.
He was an idiot.
He was a complete idiot. Like,
Idiot.
hear me, zombies, come to me.
This is what I found really funny is, well, you know when they run away after that guy's getting eaten, there were giant like stacks of logs, and I was thinking, why didn't that guy just hide on top of that?
Why didn't he
There's a
climb a
multitude
tree or
of
something,
things.
man?
He did a
I mean,
multitude of things.
instead, you run out into an open field and get surrounded on 3 sides by walkers, you know, and then
You've got an open
conveniently the
gap.
4th side that's open that you can get out of the horseshoe for you. That's just for the camera work, you know.
You don't have to run from them. You just have to walk a little bit faster. You can't run.
Oh man.
Like that's survival of the fittest right there, man. You were destined to get killed at that point, you know. Just saying. It is what it is. But okay. I think that's pretty much most of the questions. Yep, Game of Thrones next week, guys. So anybody who is a fan of these reviews that also watches Game of Thrones next week, we're starting up the next season. I'm so excited for that. I cannot even comprehend the excitement.
You're getting ready to dethrone Larry, huh?
No one can dethrone Larry.
Rick.
No one can dethrone Larry. But I think Larry got like a message from the Game of Thrones. Didn't he get a message from the people of Game of Thrones?
Yeah, but he said he quit.
Yeah, like they sent him a message because his videos were so popular. Like it was crazy. Like he's like no one can top it. I'm just trying to get my opinions out there.
He lost 500 subscribers when he quit Game of Thrones, and his channel just slowed down. So here's your chance.
He still got more than I'll ever
in.
get, so I'm not crying forever.
Yeah, right. You're gonna let him know who Zoro fanboy is. You're gonna show him. He's gonna learn today.
Well, we'll see. Ain't gonna happen, but we'll see. So I think on that note, I think we can wrap.
Can't kick because you're not logged in properly.
And there he is.
All right, I'm back. Okay. You fuck Google Chrome. That's all I gotta say, and everything Google. But anyway, guys.
Yeah, excited and closed out of the stream is what happened.
No, just fucked me up. All right. So, any other final thoughts on the episode that we didn't cover? Any like little things that you might have caught, or anything that we didn't quite, go over? Or I think we've covered everything for the most part.
I think we have.
I think
we beat the horse to death. Yeah.
Yeah, the horse is very dead. So on that note, guys, this was our season finale, a review for The Walking Dead, season number 4, episode number 16. If you liked it, then give it a like to always support these things. They're a lot of fun to do, but those likes definitely give us more motivation to continue doing them. Comments if we didn't quite get to your questions, because sometimes we talk for a while and we kind of ignore the questions. We apologize about that. So if you have any comments that we didn't get to, repeat them, and I'll do my best to respond after the live stream ends. And as always, subscribe to all of these good people in this stream. They all have quality content covering a lot of different things: Walking Dead, anime, manga, and so on and so forth. So subscribe to all of them. I will this time for the finale put links to every one of their channels. I promise I will. I will not be lazy this week. I will not be lazy this week, I promise.
Oh, man.
So,
Whew. Enjoy it, boys. You got cigars, smoke them if you got them.
That's my victory dance.
So subscribe to all these people. They all deserve it without a doubt. And that's it for us. Everyone, just go ahead and sign out. We'll start off with Jim.
Oh man, it was a fun season. I'm glad you got me on this, and just looking forward to Game of Thrones, and certainly then that'll lead into it. Before we know it, we'll be back here again in September or October doing this again for season 5. So.
Oh yes, yes sir. Got Min Golden.
Okay, y'all already see what's going on. You can see what's under there. Go ahead, get over there and subscribe. Since Zoro Fanboy actually told you guys to, that's almost guaranteed everybody get 2,000 subscribers. Anyway, we also do Walking Dead reviews. We probably get a little bit more raunchy in there. If you want to subscribe to, and see good anime reviews and discussions and things of that nature and a whole bunch of other bullshit, subscribe.
There you go. We have Walking Double Dead, who is not smoking weed.
Nearly reached 5K already. Yes.
You have?
Nearly.
5K?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Congrats, man.
Looking forward
Congrats.
to Game of Thrones. Thank you. Looking forward to Game of Thrones. And October, going to be a long wait.
Gotta watch my heel, man. Doesn't come from my ass. Next we got Phoenix Kai. Say hello to or goodbye to the good people, sir.
Well, man, I had it was a fun ride. Enjoying you guys. We talked about The Walking Dead, and sadly have to wait till October. And since you guys are gonna do the Games of Thrones, I'm gonna check it out. Finally to see what the hype is all about. Even though I'm late as hell, but still, I want to check it out because
You don't like Game of Thrones.
The hype is real, man. It's all right.
It is.
I will.
It's the truth. It is the truth. So, like we said,
Can't wait
next
to do
week.
this in October.
House Lannister. That's what you need to be a part
Oh,
of.
you fucking. Well, I guess Lannister. Depends which Lannister you're talking about. So yeah.
Lannisters.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for next week. Same time. We're gonna be doing Game of Thrones. Mondays around 10 o'clock. That's what time that we do this. So stop by if you're interested. And like I said, subscribe and all that good shit. That's it for us. We're out. Peace.